France go 2 from 2. Ireland none from 2 after losing at home. Just got up at stupid o'clock to watch this game. 3 something in the morning. Game started at 4. It's not a classic. If you're gonna get up at like 3:45 to watch a game of rugby, you probably want one that's generally a bit higher quality than this one was. But what this game did have, its saving grace, is the fact that it was close, and at the death, it could have been either team's game. I think I usually take that over a 60-10 kind of drubbing with a bunch of tries. You guys know that about me. But anyway, I will go over the key events of the game, some of the stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how you thought this one played out. It was tentative at early 10 minutes for sure. Both sides not keen to play down their own half. And the weather forecast going into this one was supposed to be pretty atrocious, but I think it ended up being a bit more mild than maybe people said it was going to be. As we were doing the live stream, some people who said they live near the ground said the sun had come out and it wasn't too windy. So maybe some of the excuses for some of the handling and whatnot is not quite there with that. James Lowe's big boot early, they were definitely employing that to try and get themselves some kick meters, Ireland, but it was France who had the first chance to score some points. I believe Jalibert missed the penalty because they didn't put 3 points on the board. It was a pretty straightforward kick, seemingly, but the cameraman also seemed to lose track of the ball, which was a bizarre moment. But yeah, despite the bad angle, they missed that one. Ireland won the first scrum penalty on 12 minutes, which was encouraging, and they themselves had a chance to take the lead on 17 minutes. 17 minutes we're already at. And, Ruddock was making himself a nuisance at the breakdown. But Billy Burns missed that penalty, which in the scheme of things is pretty costly. But remember, France have missed one as well. So both sides missed out on some points. But again, it was a pretty straightforward one. He doesn't make the same mistake on 19, Billy Burns, when he slots one where they literally put the stat on the TV saying he should get this kick 94% of the time. Makes no mistake, Ireland go in front 3-0. And 23, things get worse for France because they get a yellow card to Leroux. He trips up Keith Earls. It's a silly thing to be doing. Trips him up as he's chasing a kick. And it is spotted. So, 10 minutes in the naughty boys chair for him. And it looks like they've been punished straight away. 24 minutes. James Lowe goes over in the corner, rushing to the left side, and the TMO checks it. His foot just scrapes the whitewash before he gets the ball grounded. It's a bloody good attempt, but not quite to be. And then, straight after that, as France have a line out because he's in touch on their own 5-meter line, Ian Henderson absolutely reads the French line out like he knows their playbook. But he just knocks it on. He can't quite grab the ball because he's the first one to get to it. He could have had himself a free 5-pointer right there, but not quite. Not quite. So two missed opportunities for Ireland during that yellow card period. And then to make matters worse for Ireland, Olivon scores the next try. It's a crazy kind of French wake up from nowhere. Dupont puts like a one-handed offload as they go right, then they shift the ball back left. And as they go through the hands, they do, I think it's Fiku to Olivon. They find some space, which is crazy because they're a man down, but they manage to do it. They kick the conversion, and it's 7 points to 3. First and only lead change of the game. Ireland have a chance on 34. They're in France's 22, just on the doorstep anyway. They go through some phases, but they concede a penalty. So a big let off for France. Yellow card period is done. The French win at 7-0. And France kick a penalty right before halftime to make it 10 points to 3 at halftime. 10 points to 3 in the context of this game is looking like a good lead, man. Nobody's looking like scoring 7 points anytime soon. Possession at halftime was 56-44 to Ireland, but France have the territory 55-44. And Ireland's tackling percentage is like 87%. It was a bit lower than what we would have expected. A few more missed tackles than we are used to seeing. France, on the other hand, were at 92. Looking pretty efficient. Second half starts underway, and Ireland's defence is not looking any better when Marchand makes a big old line break. France looked to recycle the ball quickly. Dupont fires the ball at his man to see him power over for the line, but instead he smacks Willemse right in the schnoz, in the face. So big missed chance for a try for France. As much as Henderson's chance was a chance, Lowe's chance was a chance, this is France's chance, which they missed. So it's a game of missed chances in a lot of respects. Billy Burns also goes off for an HIA. He does not return. I was wishing that guy all the best. Not his best 40 minutes of rugby in that first half, but a lot of guys didn't have their best 40 minutes of rugby in that game, to be honest. A big clash of heads on like 41 minutes. Healy and Henderson both making a tackle. Their heads come around the corner and just smash into each other. It's horrendous, blood everywhere. Both guys go off for HIAs. Interestingly, both guys come back on. They probably didn't need to, but it's not the kind of stuff you want to see. 48 minutes. I've written down nice James Lowe kick for touch. It was one of those games where a nice kick for touch was something that you had to note down because there was a lot of not going forward with the ball. So the kick for touch was nice. There were a few errors. Some of the guys, when I was doing the live stream, were describing the game at that point as a bit of a shambles. There were too many errors, but again, another French wake up on 54. They get a try on the right wing. James Lowe shoots out of the line to close the move down, but he misses. I think it's Dulin on the tackle. Dulin passes it to Peno as the Irish cover defence comes across. They can't get it done. They do miss the conversion, though, at that point. At that point, Ireland looking honestly dead and buried. Honestly looking totally dead and buried. But almost out of nowhere, you can look at the timing of these tries. Kelleher gets a try, and to be honest, I'm not looking at the screen as that try happens. I'm looking at my computer. So I'm thinking, oh my God, Ireland have pulled off some miraculous line-out move, which has seen, because I see Kelleher tearing up down the field to go over unopposed for a try. As I watch the replay, it's not a phenomenal line-out move. It's a line-out error. The line-out gets stolen. France whack it backwards, but they don't gather the loose ball. Kelleher reacts quickest, and he's got some proper wheels for a hooker, that man. So the TMO checks it to make sure it wasn't forward off Ireland, and he says it wasn't. So happy days. It's 15 points to 10. Ireland are suddenly back in the game after, as I mentioned, being absolutely dead and buried. 64, Ross Burns slots a sweet penalty to make it 13-15. Long distance one, a bit of angle. 13-15. That's game on, but that's how it's going to finish. James Lowe kicks it out on the full on 66. France go out on attack on 67, but Teddy Thomas knocks it on, which is an unfortunate one. Jalibert on 71 hits a 51-metre shot off the posts. I felt like if he gets that, Ireland are unlikely to score a try. Maybe they could have kicked a penalty, but not to be. France concede a penalty right on 78 minutes. They were looking to just close the game down. They make a mistake on 78. So Ireland do get one last throw of the dice, which I mentioned makes the game worth a watch at the end. Ireland go through 16 phases. At first they start to go forward. Then they start to go backwards. And as they go backwards, eventually they concede a turnover. France kick it out. And it is game over. A little bit concerning about the Irish attack. Like Ringrose looked sharp. But there were a few other guys who did not look all that sharp. But again, it's hard to say because the French defence is really good. The French certainly didn't find it all their own way like they did against Italy. That space wasn't there, but they still managed to score a couple of good tries. 56-44 is the possession to Ireland, but 61-39 is the territory to France. So France able to control the game in terms of where it was played. Dulin gets player of the match, interestingly. It's a hard pick in this game because there were a few lackluster performances. 11 offloads to 3 in favour of France. It still shows differing in style, but 16 handling errors by France, 10 by Ireland. That's a lot. It speaks to really bad conditions. But as I said, some guys in the neighbourhood said it wasn't that bad. Tackling percentage, 84 for Ireland, made 146. 89 for France, made 184. Just that step up from France. Like there's a difference between 90% and kind of 85. in terms of the defensive shifts. Line breaks 5-3, so not a huge difference, but France still get the ascendancy. Breakdown steals is one area that Ireland will look at favourably, getting 4-1. And France's line-out was under a lot of pressure. So there's still a few things to like about it if you're Ireland. But, yeah, the attack wasn't looking like breaking the French down a whole lot. And the one try they got was kind of a fortunate one. Aldrit, 99 run meters and 15 from 15 tackles. Might have been worth a shout for man of the match as well. Olivon made 19 out of 20 tackles. Byrne made 12 from 12 and won 3 turnovers. He is still an absolute unit. For Ireland, you look at James Lowe. He had 3 tackles made, 4 missed. Is a bit concerning. I think Gibson Park missed 3. I was gutted to see Casey not get his time. I know because it's a 2-point deficit, you don't want to bring on a guy for his debut with that kind of extra pressure, but still I would have liked to see him come on. Anyway, France 2 from 2. Grand Slam still potentially on the cards for them. They are first. They're slightly ahead of Wales. Same points, but I think in terms of the points difference, or as it tries, they're ahead of Wales. Ireland are 5th, just above Italy with the 2 losses. But that being said, Ireland do go to play Italy after the bye week, so we'll see if they throw things up. If we see a guy like maybe Harry Byrne or Craig Casey or someone else get some minutes, or whether Andy Farrell just kind of does what Eddie Jones did and basically sticks to the guys who played in this game to give them another game to maybe let loose. For France, they will be at home to Scotland, so that should be an interesting game as well, because Scotland only just lost their game and had a good win against England, so we will see. Interesting game, like I mentioned, not the best watch overall. If you know the result, it's not going to have any tension at the end, but if you watched it live like me, you would have been on the edge of your seat as Ireland went through those 16 phases at the death, but couldn't quite get it done. But anyway, it's 6:20 in the morning on a Monday work day. Just going back into lockdown here in New Zealand, so I will enjoy the rest of my day. You guys enjoy your evenings or your mornings wherever you're at, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.